Hello, this is Renee, and welcome to my channel, whether it's A Lot to Tell on YouTube or either TikTok. I just got through finishing part of the what is it called? State of the Union address. I want to make sure I got it right. I didn't look at all of it, but I did get all the way to the point where I saw a congressman with a sign protesting. We're not apes. No, we are people, but we're not apes, something like that. And I saw it in the background, and then I saw what it had to make this person leave. Now, I get it. We have the right to speak. We have the right to freedom of speech. We have the right to protest. We have a right to say a lot of things. But at that particular moment, I'm not exactly sure if that was appropriate in a way, especially for someone in that position. I used to be in this person's district. And when I said my reasons for voting for President Donald Trump, I had my reasons. I know a lot of people are angry and upset with me about that, but I've been in these districts for more than 20 years. And I've explained to numerous Democrats, whether they were state officials or government officials, staff members, whatever, about the issues and the complaints that I had happening to me all those years. I don't go in areas or positions to get myself in trouble or I'm going to stand around these people just to see how they're going to react towards me. These things happen to me from out of nowhere. And I believe the reason why God allowed those things to happen so that when I go through it, I can be able to communicate to other people and let them know. Because you can't be a witness for God or do anything for anybody else if sometimes you don't go through it yourself. I've had numerous people tell me, oh, I feel your pain, but you ain't never suffered like I did. You ain't never lost like I did. I appreciate your sympathy, but you can't say you know how exactly I feel unless you went through it already. So going to the Democrats, voicing my opinions, even about my mom. When my mom died, in one particular senator's office, this lady over the phone that I was telling her about that happened, what happened to my mom and what should have been done, how the settlement was stolen, how this happened, blah, blah, blah. And she actually started laughing. And when I told her I'm glad that she finds humor in my pain, then she laughed even harder. And this person was my color. So I'm had it up to here and probably above when it comes to the Democrats. Now, they want to go around saying we calling people names racially motivated. And I feel like when it's racially motivated, relating to justice, injustice, corruption, stuff like that, it should be addressed. And we should say something about that. We've been knowing name calling since we were kids. I even did it. And people called me the ugly duckling. Words can hurt. I get that. And when we were growing up, or rather when I was growing up, it was very immature. But I learned to get past that and try to move forward because some people never grow up and some people don't ever feel good about themselves unless they're putting somebody else down. But I didn't realize that until years and years later. We've insulted a lot of presidents over the years. I don't care who's in office, Democrat or Republican, somebody did something wrong and we insulted them, including Biden, Obama, Trump. I've seen people on my Facebook page call him orange. He's this, he's that, even used a whole lot of choice curse words. And let's not forget what they said about Biden when he was addressing issues and his memory wasn't too good or either he fell down. We are just like children. You're going to make a point and you're going to speak up for something. Don't get into your childlike manner. God said when we get older, we put away childish things. So calling people names is not good. I get that and I know that. But I don't see why the Democrats are so angry when the gas prices have gone down, even in my area. Food prices is not, there used to be a time during COVID and after COVID, a dozen of eggs was like $8 for regular and caged eggs was like 12 something. So we got the gas that went down a little, food prices that went down a little. And then the president said about people's mortgages and their 401 plans and a whole lot of other stuff. Look, I made a mistake voting for people in office before and regretted it deeply. Democrats. That's where it all happened. This is my first time that I've ever voted Republican, even though years ago I wanted to do that. But then we did have people in our areas telling us as long as we stayed in those areas, we could not vote for who we wanted to. We had to stick to Democrat. Then they had that straight ticket. There were a whole lot of people on that straight ticket that I did not want to vote for. But as soon as you hit that straight ticket for the one you do want to vote for, the ones you don't even like, they get a vote from you too. And that's not something I wanted to do. I didn't want to give you my vote. So I stopped voting for maybe more than 10 years. And people say even when you don't vote, that you still using your voice. I get it. I was using my voice to say, what's the use? I'm in a Democratic area, and if I got to vote Democrat, I ain't voting at all. We shouldn't be told who to vote for. We're all human beings. We're all individuals. How come we can't just get together on one accord and make things right for the greater good of the people? Not for people in office. They got enough. They ain't really fighting for us no way. Maybe your official is doing what they can for you, but I've been in districts, the poorest of the districts, and these people don't do a doggone thing. All they want is your vote. They don't even come out anymore to shake your hand and ask you for their vote. It's like, I got this and I know I'm not gonna lose it. We need a change. People hate President Trump. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people hate me, and I'm not even in office. But that doesn't mean we stop trying to do what we can for people, all people. I'm not saying President Trump is perfect. I done heard what he said about women and things that he did, and they still talking about January the 6th. I done heard about a lot of things, but I also heard about Kamala Harris, what she did before she became vice president. I heard what she did to people that was in prison when she was on the bench. I heard a lot of stuff. Everybody's got a pass. Who else? The Clintons? Oh, my God. I'm not saying people should not be accountable for their wrongs. I'm still fighting for my sisters, so I know what it means to fight. But this is something totally different. How come we can't get on one accord to help one another the way that this economy is going? And the Democrats are mad and upset because we're saving money now. I also heard about where they're going to, the next time the Democrats shut down the government, they don't get paid. And I heard they trying to push that bill, and I'm praying to God I be one of them that vote for it, because it is wrong. Y'all shut down the government. Everybody loses money. People cannot work, or either they working for free, or y'all pick a few people to work, but everybody else sits on the sidelines until y'all decide to come into an agreement, but y'all are still getting paid. And everybody else is suffering. No, that is not right. Now, I wanted to be in office. The Blue Texas thing, I actually wanted to be a representative and move my way up to where God wants me to be. That would have affected me being in office, and I hadn't done anything to anybody. But fair is fair. They're very upset. They've been upset for the longest. I'm talking about the Democrats. They've been very upset for the longest because most of the bills is taking money away from other areas and putting it where it needs to be. We keep going back to this. Oh, it's going to affect our vote. Oh, we have a right to decide for our own bodies. They keep sticking to the same thing. This has been talked about and discussed for more than 15 years. Do we have a brain to move forward and come up with some new ideas? that'll help the people instead of sticking with something that they're used to speaking about. We know we have the right to our own bodies. We know we can still vote. I ain't hear nobody say nothing about changing votes. I did hear them say they was going to stop voter fraud. And they weren't going to let anybody just come in and start voting. And some of the ballots were filled out by people that no longer on the earth or don't live in this country. I heard a lot of stuff. Over the years, a lot of stuff. If you're ever going to vote, make sure that the candidate that you choose to vote is listening to you. Not just looking at you and want your vote, but actually listening to you. And don't just listen to me. Take care of my concerns. Take it where you need to take it. Don't act like it's not anything. So I'm not, well, at least at this moment, I'm not regretting my choice. There are a lot of things, like I said, a bunch of presidents that have done that I didn't appreciate, especially when COVID came. We went past 100 days for COVID. Me personally, I did not take that shot. Because I feel like a God that saved me from domestic violence and my husband choking me to death, I was more scared of that than something that I can't see. So the same God that saved and helped me then is the same God I trusted when COVID showed up. And I'm not putting people down that got the shot or had to get the shot. Some of them were forced to get it because the jobs was going to either say, you take this shot or you fired. You don't put people on stipulations like that. Let them make their own decisions. But people went on and did it so that they could have a job and keep working. And I understand that totally. But don't mess with my faith. My faith is going to stay just like it is. I trust God on everything. If we get sick, we get sick. But I wanted to breathe this fresh air. The only time I wore that mask was when it was required for me to wear that mask. And as soon as I got away from whoever required it, I snatched it off my face and breathed God's air because that's what keeps me alive.